What up, and welcome back to another episode of the Dealer Talk Podcast. This is your host, Herb Anderson, Season 3, Episode 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at social media from the perspective of a general manager, a decision maker within your dealership. How can you use social media effectively, not just to sell more units, but connect with your team, generate some buzz and activity for your business, and most importantly, create a brand within a brand. The guest that we have today on the show is a master at utilizing social media, and I'm very excited that we're able to sit down and have a conversation with him. If you're a decision maker within a dealership, you definitely want to check this episode. Make sure to have pen and paper because you're going to want to take some notes. There's a lot of good insights on this one. If you like this episode, please make sure to share it with somebody that can benefit from this information. Share this podcast so that they can take these insights and apply them in their day-to-day. All right, let's get into it. Let's check it out. Welcome to another episode of the Dealer Talk Podcast. This is your host, Herb Anderson. My co-host, Eric Nelson, could not join me on this one, but the guest we have is pure fire, and we just couldn't pass up the opportunity to get him on the mic for a session. So very excited for today. We've been trying to hook up with this person for a minute, and it's season 3 just continues to be just a great season, man. We got a lot of good guests, so just really excited. Without further ado, let's just dive into it. On today's episode, we have the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, El Patronn, joining us.
Yes, sir.
What's up, dude?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to have you on the show, man. We've been trying to get you on for a minute, just things haven't worked out, and today's the day. So.
It's been hectic, right? So we've been going back and forth on LinkedIn, but I said, we got to do this, man. We got to definitely do it.
Yeah, man. No.
So I'm excited.
Thank you so much for being on. Dude, so the first question I always ask everybody that's on the show is just to give us a little bit of a recap. And, obviously people know who you are, but, if you could just give us a little bit of your overall background.
If they don't know who I am right now, we got a problem, right?
Yeah, right.
Nah, man, I've been in business 15 years. I'm the managing partner at Brooklyn Mitsubishi, also listed as a GM on paper. And I'm probably the most social GM that works in the industry right now, I would say.
For sure. Let's kind of kick things off there, man, because I think that's absolutely correct. Like, I don't see any other GM using social media the way that you do it. Why did you start that in the beginning? Like, what was the idea behind that? And most importantly, like, how do you see that it's benefit you today?
So basically, I've been in Brooklyn 2 years. I've been with the company about 7 years now, and not a lot of people knew about Brooklyn Mitsubishi, right? So I wanted to kind of put it on a not on a national level. I wanted to go kind of like, okay, local. Let me brand this store to a point where everybody in the mall is going to know who Brooklyn Mitsubishi is. And I didn't know it was going to go that far, like even global now. You got people from Canada visiting the store. You got people from Australia visiting the store because they're a big following over there. And we just blew up on social media. At the beginning, I got to be honest, I didn't know what I was doing, but we just kind of took momentum, right? A couple of viral videos went out, and now we're here. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to separate ourselves from the competition, and I knew that I had to do this social media thing. There was no GM doing it, so I said I got to be the guy to do it.
Right on, man. Now, when you kind of started on that path, right? Did you? Because you said, admittedly, right, you didn't know what you were doing in the beginning. Was it just, hey, I'm just going to start doing videos and just hit the red button and kind of record and post? or do you kind of have somebody like maybe within in the dealership that you said, hey, I'm going to do the social media stuff, I'm going to do the videos, and you do everything else? Like, or are you the one?
No, no, it started on my phone. Believe it or not, most of the viral videos that went viral was off my cell phone. And it was very discouraging at the beginning. And I always tell people that, because you don't have any support, right? Facebook is not telling you, hey, you're doing good, you're doing this, and you kind of talking by yourself most of the time. So, but I knew that I kept pushing, and just one time, one of the Facebook Live went crazy and people started sharing it. And a lot of people I used to get like 200 requests a day because they wanted to know more. Who is this guy out of Patronn, out of Brooklyn, out of Mitsubishi? You know what I'm saying? And that's how it started. That's how I got started. So then I got momentum and I was like, I'm onto something. So let me just keep doing it, see where we end up.
Wow, man, that's so cool because a lot of people they're just afraid, right, to create that content and put that out there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of encouraging.
It was one of my biggest fears, just to because people are like, oh, you do it so easily, you do it so, it looks so natural to you. But what I always say to people is just like going to the gym, right? It's just like you're building a muscle. The more you do it, the more better you get at it. The more comfortable you get at it. Now I could just, I do 40 stories on Instagram on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? I just love stories.
But it's so, and as you're going through this process, I'm sure you're learning about all these different platforms as well, right?
A lot. Yeah. So like 2 years ago, I did not know about LinkedIn. I'm probably the most automotive LinkedIn guy. You know what I'm saying? I always see you there, but I'm constantly posting, right? Every 2-3 hours, I'm posting something. You know what I mean? So I am always going to be on your timeline somehow, some way.
Now, okay, so that's interesting, right? Because obviously, as you're doing this, you're getting knowledge on all these different platforms, right? So
Opportunities, knowledge. I mean, endless. You can only imagine like the opportunities that I've gotten out of LinkedIn, and people's like, what do you mean? Like they just don't understand the opportunities that you're missing on these platforms.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just by putting them out there.
But so now you're getting the knowledge yourself of how to do it and create the content. I'm sure you're to the point now where you know what works and what doesn't work because you post so many videos and you see which ones do well.
Right. You find a way, the algorithm that works for you, right? You kind of build that clientele and you build kind of like a following where, people are now like, they text me like, where's your video? Like, like they're waiting at 9 o'clock. Like, what's going on? I haven't seen your message for today. Like they're waiting for that video. You know what I'm saying? So it's so important to stay consistent. And that's the number one downfall for people that they go to these conferences and yeah, they come out and they do it for a week or two, maybe. But I'm like, yeah, I'll see you in a month to see if you're still doing it. I've been day in, day out, what I'm doing at 5 a.m. in the morning when I'm at the gym and when I'm driving home at midnight, still doing either a podcast or FaceTime with somebody for tomorrow's day. I capture everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing for your store, I mean, you're you know a lot about this stuff. You know a lot about these platforms. So do you take that? Has it benefited you as far as business, right? Generating business?
Yes, it has dramatically. So I realized that I leverage my spending money into social media. So like I made everyone become a follower of El Patron, so and Brooklyn Mitsubishi and vice versa. So we just reached 1.3 million followers last month on combined with the store and my personal one. But a lot of things that I do has to do with the store. So everything has to be positive. You know what I'm saying? There's no negativity because I kind of changed the culture of the store the way it was. I got new F&I, BDC's new. Like a lot of departments are new because of me, because I just didn't like the old regime that was here for 18 years was just very stuck in the old way. So I just have like 2 guys left from the old regime, put it that way, salespeople wise. Everybody else is brand new.
Now, are they pretty adapt to social media too? Is that something that you make them do, or you just kind of let them?
I would use the 80/20 rule. So I think I'm like 80%. A lot of the guys share my stuff, and that's the reason why a lot of stuff gets a lot of reach. Because that's the key. Most people think it's the likes and the views, but it's really the shares. So like everybody tags, Brooklyn Mitsubishi El Patron, so that way the store is advertising El Patron. So everything that goes for Brooklyn Mitsubishi, my branding goes in there, and that's why I wanted to do it that way.
Got it. Okay.
So El Patron is Brooklyn Mitsubishi in a way, you know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about personal branding and how to build your brand within a brand, you know what I'm saying?
No, and I get that. I see that. I saw that. I think it was the last episode you were talking on your show, on the El Patron show, about that, and kind of what you do with the photos and all this stuff to gain some more attention or some more eyeballs. I wonder if your staff is are they as apt to social media like you are, as far as creating their own personal brand, right? Or
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple that we created, a couple of names. We gave them names that came out of the store, and they change their hashtag, their handle on Instagram, and they start promoting that. So because they listen to me, right, and we talk about people buying from people and stuff like that. So what is making you different to stand out from the other competition, from the other Mitsubishi dealers, right? So to me, it's is the person. So I tell my guys all the time, share your passion, whatever it is. You're into dogs, you're gonna get a lot of customers that love dogs. So talk about that, and you'll be able to relate to them.
oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, man. It's got to be genuine, right? If it's not something that you're into,
You gotta be authentic. It gotta be
yeah.
real. You gotta be. I curse on some of my videos, even in my show. I curse because it's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be someone that I'm not. And then just whether you like me or not, I'm gonna be who I am. And people's like, oh, the flashiness and this and that. And sometimes they take my overconfidence for cockiness, but they know the real me. They know the real me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I mean, I follow your stuff, dude, and I find it genuine. So that's who you are. You know what I mean? And that, that's what conveys.
Appreciate it.
So,
Appreciate it.
all right, kind of switching gears here a little bit. I want to talk about the brand, like the Mitsubishi brand in particular. I want to talk about what you've been able to do with that, right? Because I mean, it's obviously been one of those brands that has had some struggles here in the States.
Oh yeah, big time.
Were you, I don't want to say afraid, but did you see this as an opportunity when you got the chance to come work for them, or like
Yes, because Mitsubishi's an underdog,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I consider myself an underdog, so it was kind of like, let me be a hero. Let me put these guys on the map at the same time. And they notice what I've done to them. I mean, the social media presence that I have for Mitsubishi. When you think of Mitsubishi, right, a lot of people think of El Patron. So all the branding that I've done for them, it has paid me back. I mean, they doing amazing things for us, and we have a beautiful relationship with not only the CEO but with the second guy in command, which is Ken Kanushka. And this guy is always me and him on LinkedIn back and forth. We talk about programs, we talk about things that are changing and leading, and he sees where I'm going with it. So he's on board 100% because they had a lot of older people that weren't really receptive to social media. You know what I mean? So they made a lot of changes with this new CEO, which I love about them, and I see them as the next Kia. You know what I mean? So they're actually ahead of the game right now with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man. So I definitely wanted to touch on that because I've been following them a lot on there's been a lot of posts like on automotive news, and one of the things that they're talking about is a lot of EV for Mitsubishi, right? Do you see that as a plus in the lineup, or?
I do. I think they did the right thing by getting together with Nissan, right? Do 40% now. We share platforms with them. We'll be able to do 11 models with them. So I think the future looks very promising. They're the second year in a row the fastest Asian brand coming out, and we're right up there with the big boys. It's just we haven't done a very fair job, right, branding, because we're kind of like behind the eight ball a little bit, and we kind of realized that we need a few more models right now, and I think they're working on that. And once they get a pickup truck and they get all these models coming out, I think they're going to take us to the next level. and I'm excited to be part of that.
That's pretty exciting, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I liked, yeah, like I said, I mean, I think the EV push is interesting. Um, how do you think that plays with a market the way things are going right now with new cars kind of being a little bit in I don't want to say in the red, but it's definitely we're in a little bit of a decline.
It's a down year in the car business. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it. Just, some people don't like to talk about it, but it is, compared to last year's numbers, right? We crushed it, almost 4,000 cars. So this year we're a little behind the able, but what I was able to do is I was able to cut a lot of costs, so like PPC campaigns, right? I'm on $3.17 a click on social. So I decided to use all that money into social. So my best ROI right now is social because I'm getting the best bang for my buck and I'm saving all this big money. I even cut third party vendors that I'm not going to mention because I got a relationship with these people and, but I cut them because they weren't giving me the ROI.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I've talked about it on different podcasts, and I've talked about it on my show. I used to work for one of the big ones, and I don't know, man. I just don't see that as the future. I think social is where it's at, man. I've had a lot of success with Facebook, and it's super cheap, man. I mean, I can do like a 50-mile radius, all brand owners for like $500.
It's a necessary evil, right? It's not going anywhere. You got 6 hours, 6.5 hours on their mobile. So guess what? People are spending a lot of time on social right now. So where are you gonna serve that ad where they're spending the most time, the most money, and it's costs it costs zero to post, right? I tell my guys all the time, it costs zero for you to post for free. You know what I'm saying? So why not put yourself out there and throw that car up there? How are they going to find out if you just took that car on trade? And, I'm doing a lot of highline stuff where I'm shipping cars all over the country because now I created like a little niche with all these platforms. And now they know me as, that's the guy with the high-end cars, right? Out of a Mitsubishi store. So that's why I'm making it up where I'm selling a lot of used cars out of it because of it.
Yeah. So, do you see that? Do you see people buying specifically just because the presence that you have on social, being like, hey, I want to buy.
Yes, 100%, 100%. They see me driving the cars, they see me being driven in these cars, and they want to buy it from me because I give them an experience, right? So they come in here, I film everything, I give them a little movie out of it, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna put that on social?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put it everywhere." They're like, "All right," and you're gonna film me signing the paperwork. I say, "Yes." So they want that, you know what I'm saying? They want a different experience because let's face it, right? They're not gonna buy a Mercedes or Bentley from a Mitsubishi store, but if I do it a little differently than the regular guys, they're gonna want that experience, and I think that people are willing to pay more for that because you know what? When they come here, it's more about the experience, and we make big money in these cars.
Yeah, I would assume that with your model, used cars is pretty big, right? I mean, obviously, but would you say that that's the biggest push for you guys? Would be on the used side?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We got over 1,000 cars.
Wow, dude, what do you do with space there, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the wild wild west, man. We got like 40 different lots. I got 600 on one. I got another 300 on the other. But we manage it. We make it work. At the end of the day.
That sounds challenging. All right, so let's kind of talk about profitability a little bit. Right. So, one of the things that I've been following along a lot is service. Obviously, I'm a fixed ops guy. That's where I started. And I've always been a proponent that dealers have this value in their DMS, right? They have all these customers that already purchased from you. They service their vehicle there. To me, that's the cheapest way to get business or to generate business. Do you guys do anything? Do you guys do anything on your end? Like, how do you see service playing into your store, like into its overall success?
So last year I didn't touch service, right? I was focusing on sales. So finally, January 2019, they said, okay, listen, we want you to get involved in service. So, I wanted to disrupt the service department because service, I believe, is ready to be disrupted, and a lot of people are not getting the benefit of it. So, we went from like 12 appointments. We had 90 appointments on Saturday for service, with this campaign that we did. So, and we picked up 4 deals out of the service department. So, some people don't look at it as like, can I sell cars out of service? Listen, it doesn't matter if it's a Mitsubishi store. It's a numbers game, right? So, if I put 90 appointments for the service department, I got like almost 40 people showed up and we picked up 4 deals out of it. So, you can do sales, right? And we sold a lot of stuff out of the campaign. So we're trying different things to get the traffic there as well. So you got to be able to disrupt any area of your business, right? Because if sales is not being profitable, you can make the money in service. We just became authorized Geico for collision, so we crushing it in the body shop. So yeah, sales might not be as great, but I'm making it up in all these other areas within the dealership. You know what I'm saying? To stay afloat.
Now, do you guys do anything like, I know you got Brian Benstock out there with Paragon, and he's got some pretty progressive ideas with service, and, he's picking up people and dropping off cars and staying open 24 hours and all this stuff. I mean,
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not there yet as far as with the facility. We're trying to go into an 80,000 square feet facility, and I give Brian props. Don't get me wrong. He's a Honda dealer, right? So it's a little different. People want Hondas, you know what I'm saying? And Mitsubishi's just it's a little tougher brand. It's the last one in the totem pole. So, but we doesn't mean that we can't try. You know what I'm saying? So, but eventually that's where we're going as well, because customers want that different experience, just like Brian is offering to them.
Yeah, I wonder how much the geography plays into that, right? Because the city itself is not, it's not, how do I say it? I mean, there's other means of transportation. So owning a vehicle doesn't necessarily have to be priority, right? I mean, is that, or do you, like, how do you guys?
Listen, there's no parking here, so
Right.
put it this way, that's like my biggest problem that I have. There's no parking, but we still make it happen.
So I would assume that, like you were saying earlier, like selling outside of the, like getting customers out from outside of the city.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're delivering cars to Connecticut. Right now we're delivering cars to Jersey. We're shipping cars, to Florida. Whatever we can, we pick. Whatever we do, whatever it takes. That's our new model. We do whatever it takes. So because it's stuff out there. So just like Brian is doing all these digital retailing. I'm not saying that we're there right now, but I want to give the customer the option that we are one of the dealers too that are willing to do it.
Now, do you guys promote that or?
Yes, I do on all third parties and also on social as well.
So, dude, since I have the opportunity to get you on here, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but is there any if you were to if you had the opportunity to give one strategy, one social media strategy away to somebody that's maybe thinking about doing it and really committing, that maybe you can look back on your journey and be like, okay, if I were to do this all over again, this is how I would start it, or this is how I would go about it. Is there any way that you can?
Okay, everybody, right? What I don't understand is that they're willing to spend money, right? They're willing to spend $30,000, $20,000 on a stupid mailer, all right? And I hope I don't offend nobody because I don't believe in traditional, but they're willing to spend $20,000 on a freaking mailer that is bringing you 1%. On your ROI, but yeah, you can't spend $5,000, $10,000 on social just because you don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Give it a chance and look at the numbers for what it is. At the end of the day, you're gonna spend that money anyway on the damn mailer, right? That you're gonna do because you're used to doing it. So, but yeah, you're afraid to spend $5,000 because you got to commit to or whatever, 60 days or whatever. So why not do it and go for it and look at the ROI for what it is. Some people don't like the leads or whatever, but it's there. If you got a good process, and I'm a process guy, right? I have 13 girls in BDC. So if you know the process, you're gonna be able to do it. You should be able to convert a lot more than you can convert on a mailer. You know what I'm saying? So stop being afraid just because you don't believe on social media yourself, right? Because you're in your 40, 50s, whatever. That doesn't mean it's not working for your store, because there's a lot of people right now that are looking at your social media before they even come to the store. And some of these guys haven't posted in a year, And I'd seen the stores myself. I'm not gonna call you and tell you that, because you might be my competitor, but that's really what it is, man. If you go to my site, you go to my social, I posted 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? So people are paying attention to that.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man, because I have these conversations, and I've mentioned this before on the show, but I get these people or these decision makers are like, oh yeah, no, we tried social media, it doesn't work, it doesn't convert, and I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like, then you didn't do it right is always my answer, because the customers are there, the potential buyers are there, right? I think
Yep.
the average person is spending, I think it's like 14 hours or something like that on Facebook on a weekly basis. Yep. Like, dude, that's a lot of time, man. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of time. Mine's like triple that shit.
So
the same. But it's just like anything else, right? You gotta try a different mailer, right? So you see, I'm an open-minded guy. Like, I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work, I'll tell you, listen, this is garbage. And I'll tell you straight up. We're still cool. We can still do social, whatever, together, right? And they take the pictures and they want to come here and they want to do a video together. And I'll still do all that because, they're vendors, right? I don't treat them no certain way. I call my best friends. I take them out to lunch, dinner, whatever. I got Deal Soccer flying in this weekend. They want to do dinner with me. And I'm like, of course, no problem. We'll go through it and I'll tell them what I think about it and what I don't think about it. So, but you look at the ROI for what it is, bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, right, and you're right, maybe the strategy didn't work. Sometimes I look at my videos are not performing as well as text, so I change it up during the month. I did that today. One of my videos wasn't performing as well. I switched it to text. Now I'm getting 28 leads per day just from that one campaign.
Wow. Do you combine traditional with social, or you're just on the digital social? You don't do any traditional?
No, I'm not really a traditional guy. I mean, I'm not a millennial, bro, but people say I'm millennial. So, but I just think, like, you know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna capture these people, right? If they're on instant messenger, man, like, why would I email these people? They're an instant messenger for a reason. I think that most of us get that wrong. Oh, send that customer an email. They don't want to freaking email you. You know what I'm saying? Or send them a text. Like, I text a lot of my customers because text is very, you don't have to see the person. You can just answer yes or no. It's right there. How many unread texts do you have right now? I have 0.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So where am I going to get the customer? I'm going to get them where I can get the most response, and they answer the text. That's my number one thing. Like, if they contact us to Messenger, and right now you can Google my name, Google my store, right? My store, you can actually text my store's number, so we can text back and forth. So we always do text with the customer, and the response are good. People are not doing that. I don't know why. Stuck in emails. Like, who cares? People don't answer emails as much,
Yeah, I guess it's hard to change those processes, right, when you're used to doing them. But times are changing, man. So
listen, the business is changing rapidly, right? And if you don't pay attention to the changes, man, you're either gonna spend a lot of money or you're gonna have a really, really bad year. We're still okay. We got a new franchise coming up in December. We're getting ready for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. All right, dude. So we're getting close to that time. I did want to ask you a question because, dude, I follow all your stuff, dude, and I love what you do with your teams, where you make them a part of your message. I think that's really, really cool. You record your meetings and you post them out there for people to see. And one thing you're always talking to your team about, it's kind of like your message in perpetuation. You may say it differently, but I always get the gist, and that's progress. Like, you're always talking about progress. You're always chasing something. You could have had the best year ever, the best month ever, and the next month you're right back at it. You're always promoting that. Can you talk a little bit about that mindset and how, I don't know if maybe you can share a tip or something that other people that are leading a team can kind of, utilize in their process?
Because, the business has been good to me, right? And I made a career out of it, right? I never graduated high school. I used to be a drunk. I overcame all these things, right? And people know my story. It's on social media. It's on my YouTube channel. Like, there's no hiding it. So, but very easy to be negative, you know what I mean? Especially in the industry, right? The negative stigma. And I changed all that. And I'm like, listen, guys, we're gonna find a way to make it happen. And I think I communicate to my team the same way with my videos because they're all connected in my social media. So they'll listen to my videos in the morning on my way in, and they know, okay, that's what we got. We got 80 appointments on a Saturday. So I always motivate them to stay positive no matter what the situation is. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that you can't make everyone happy, right? Otherwise, go sell ice cream. But
Right
we're gonna get it together. We're gonna come in as a team, and what I get them to realize is, listen, just because I'm the managing partner or the GM or whatever, the porter is as important as you, and that team mentality. And we talked about that, right? Tom Brady. Why is Tom Brady the GOAT? Because he gets in those situations that he guy just focused and he knows he's gonna send it to that guy, and that guy's gonna be ready to get that ball and do what he needs to do. So I think that if everybody goes in the same direction, I think that the goal is to win, right? And if we sell the car and the car goes and killing bugs, we won. We all won at the end of the day. So I get reviews, good or bad, right? I want to know when we made a mistake. And we sit down and we say, hey, what happened with this customer? Why did he left upset? Let me call him. Maybe I can overturn it. Sometimes the customer's an asshole, and I say that to them. It is what it is, right? Some guys are just very obnoxious or whatever, and you can't put everything together. But as long as they stay positive and a positive attitude, and you change the culture of the dealership, even the owners are on board with what we're doing with the movement and what we're doing. I think it's going to be a good outcome overall. I don't beat my guys up. We don't beat them up on a Saturday and then we're going to say, okay, let's go sell 20 cars. Like, it doesn't work that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to either motivate them and say, hey, this is where you need help, right? You're doing this, but you should do this. Try this a little bit better. You'll do better. And they listen because they want to do better. And who doesn't want to encourage them to do better than just beat them up and what they made a mistake? We all make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. And that's the reason why I'm successful, because you know what? Failure is part of the process. Okay? Listen, we had a bad day. I say it in my videos. Guys, we'll get them tomorrow. Don't worry about it. The next morning, listen, that's in the past. Let's move forward. Today's a new day. Let's freaking make it happen.
Yeah, man, no, for sure. And like I said, dude, I love that approach, man. I think it's effective and I think it shows, man. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're successful, dude. I think it commands respect from your team, man. And
I appreciate that. And listen, success is different for everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? Success is different for everybody, but I believe in fulfillment. You want to be happy, make other people be happy, to do their dreams as well. It's not just about you, right? I want all of us to have the freaking Lambos and the big houses, not just me. Because if it's just me, then it's not right. Everybody should be able to have to accomplish their goals, because your goals and your dreams are different than mine. But if I can help you accomplish yours, then we're winning together.
Right on. Oh man, that's perfect, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I know you're a busy dude. I really appreciate the time. This has been amazing. I wanted to give you a couple minutes to tell people how they can get in touch with you. Obviously, they know where to find you. But in particular, I want to talk about the show, dude. I want to promote your show. I love it.
I appreciate that. And don't forget, we got a conference coming up in December in Miami.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Let's talk about that too, man. And we'll put it I'll put all the links on the show notes too, so people can check it out.
Appreciate that. So it's going to be GameChangerCon.com, ElPatronShow.com. It's my personal website where I have the show there. It's every Friday. We decided to do the show. Believe it or not, somebody took my name, my domain, ElPatron.com. So they still want me to buy it for them, but they don't know I'm already copywriting my name, so they're gonna have to give it back to me anyway. So that's how ElPatronShow.com came about. So then I started doing this Facebook Lives, and I used to do the show from the dealership. So I said, I'm gonna step it up a little bit more in 2019, get a studio going, get everything going, and start sharing everything. So we did the show. We're in the 6th week now. We got some big players. Recon Velocity wants to sponsor the show. So I'm bringing the vendors and the people that are making a difference out there, right? I'm a little picky about who to bring on the show. Like this week, we're going to have women in automotive. I want to bring that up because I think it's important, talk about women in automotive, because some of them, they're doing some big things, but like how do you get on top where it's a dominated male business, right? Industry. So I think the show is very informative. We get a lot of people to get engaged and share it, and the opportunities that are coming out of it right now, it's unbelievable. Like the people, the CEOs are calling me, like, I watch your show, and I'm like, really? You watch my show? Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a little surreal, but I'll continue to do it, man. Like I said, the business has been good to me, and I'm gonna share everything, the good, the bad, the ugly out there. And I think it's the best reward, and I'll continue to do it because, you know, you should be able to, wake up in the morning and say, I'm gonna change the world, and you know what? If you're crazy enough to do it, you're gonna do it. So I get a lot of people that DM me personally, hey, you inspire me to go to the gym, or you help me because of what I listen to you, and I'm doing better, and I get those personal emails every day. So to me, if I can change one person's mindset and mentality to that they can do and chase their dream as well, is well worth it to me, man.
Yeah, dude, the fact that you're getting that means that you're on the right path, right? And I consider myself a fan, dude. Like, that's why
I appreciate that.
I want to promote the show and the conference. Like, I watch the show personally. I think it's super dope. I think your co-host, you guys have a good dynamic.
Good chemistry. Yeah, I mess with her all the time. This is the most watched show we had last week with Corey Mosley. I mean, he gave us a lot of nuggets because I want to go into that coaching field now. And a lot of people call me and is like, yo, do you have a mentoring program? Can I sign up with you? And I think I'm going to try something like that. I'll announce something like that in the conference. And the conference is going to be how to be a disruptor in all areas in the industry. So I'm going to have people there from parts, from service, from BDC that I'm betting them right now to see what it is they're doing differently to disrupt the business. And those are the people that I want to have. So we can have a killer 2020 and you guys can get ready. And also the stuff that I did in Brooklyn that blew up the store where it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're getting 5,000 leads a month. It was barely 1,000 when I got here,
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's very subprime. It's 80%, 90% subprime. So, we do what we can, but I believe in numbers. So it's a numbers game.
Yeah, so make sure to check the notes for the information for those events. Obviously, I mean, you know how to get in touch with El Patronn. He's everywhere. So
definitely social media is the best way. Instagram is my favorite platform. LinkedIn as well. I'm in there a lot, just like you. And I go to all the events. So don't be a stranger, man. Reach out. You never know. I might be able to give you a little nugget. And some people sometimes they ask me what apps I use. I share everything with them. This is what I use. I send them videos how I do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's no problem.
There you go. You have a personal invitation. So just walk up to Rudy and ask him, say what's up.
Yeah, don't be shy, man. Don't be shy. Listen, I didn't figure it out myself. I ask a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, it's not wrong with copying somebody's doing better than you. I always say that.
Right on. That's true. All right, man. So there's one more question I ask everybody that comes on the show, and that question is, where do you see the automotive industry headed in the next 5 years and why?
I think that it's going to be a good one. There's talks about, recession and this and that in the next 18 months. And obviously, it's election year coming up, right? So that's a little up in the air always. But I always stay hopeful and I always have faith that things are going to turn around and do for the better. A lot of lease are coming off right now. The used car market, I think, is going to go a little bit higher. The numbers in the auction, the numbers are steady. And that's a sign that, the business is going to be okay. I see a lot of programs, a lot of different financial institutions has loosened up where they want to lend money to people. So that kind of tells you where we're heading, because we are getting a lot of deals bought right now where, 6 months, 8 months ago, they were a little tight, coming out of what's going on. So I think it's going to be a good year. We'll finish strong, and 2020, I think we're going to have a record year in the automotive industry. I know that I'm hopeful enough, and I'm making the changes now that it's going to affect me in 2020, and I think we're going to crush it.
Right on, man. There you have it, guys.
Yes, sir.
El Patron, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for joining, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
And thanks again for the follow, for the support. I really appreciate it. It's like guys like you that make me go harder every day, that you guys appreciate what I'm doing. And, you guys know I'm in a mission, and I'm not going to stop until until I change the negative stigma out of the car business.
Right on, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely do appreciate it. And, like I said, man, I'm a fan, dude. So I'm super happy to just have the honor to have you on here and have a conversation with you, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks, that's all we got. Thank you for tuning in. And as usual, we'll talk later. You made it all the way to the end. Congratulations. Thank you so much for tuning in. We truly, truly appreciate it. If you like this episode and you think of somebody that can benefit from this information, please make sure to share it. Share this podcast so that they can take these insights back to the dealership and implement on their day-to-day. Thank you so much. And as usual, we'll talk later.